Great evening once again, and thank you so much for waiting. Devil is a liar. That's all I have to say. So, welcome once again, and again, please do me the favor of putting in the chat your geographical area in which you are viewing from so that I can acknowledge you properly. I am your host, Sonya Dungee, and this is the Sonya Dungee podcast, where conversation is always the essence of the soul. Today's episode 179 is being brought to you by Always Destined for Greatness LLC, B Lips LLC, and Drip City Customs LLC as well. Topic here, I see people are joining. So if you will, please let me know where you are hailing from. Always important for me to know where you are. I'm so excited for you new viewers that are started because we have conversation is always the essence of the soul. And as always, I'm still bringing that heat from the IG, the Facebook, the YouTube, and now the TikTok streets as well. So for tonight's discussion, it's going to center around um, that mindset that we want to develop that mindset, that positive reinforced mindset and good city mindset. And so in that, if you receive value tonight, please put value in the comments. If you had a breakthrough, please put breakthrough in the comment as well. If you had an aha moment, I'd appreciate that. And if you are going to watch the recording later and you're watching it later, please mark in the comments replay as well. Okay, so with that being said, in our discussion today and developing that mindset to help move forward after a setback is what we're going to discuss. And in order to achieve those stagnant goals and those dreams that have been just taking up space in the back burner of our minds, those things that we always said we're going to do someday, someday I'm going to do this, someday I'm going to do that, but then life happens, boom. And so you find yourself putting things in the back burner until a later date. But unfortunately, the later date never comes because it still stays stagnant in the back burner. So those are the things that we're going to talk about tonight in moving forward. Okay. So in tackling the mindset shift, we have to fully understand what setbacks we face in life. And sometimes we just don't realize some of the setbacks, what they really are and how they are affecting us. And so, with that being said, we're going to start there talking about that tonight. And I am looking, we have Harlem in the building. Thank you so much. Okay, we have the Bahamas in the building. Wonderful topic. Thank you so much. I see Team Save a Club. So please let me know where you're joining our cast. Thank you so much. I will be jumping onto our other platform in a little bit, but we're just going to go ahead forward and talk a little bit more. But so by us tackling the setbacks and to know what they are, there's many possible life setbacks. So tonight I chose 10 of them to just briefly discuss so we can get a little bit more clarity tonight in our focus. So in no apparent order, the first one I chose is personal loss. Now, personal loss is something that is widely mentioned, but for me, I don't see uh, a a death of a family member or a friend or a pet, um, as a loss, because in my mind, they've always been a part and will always be in my mind, my heart, and my soul, and I'll always think about them. And so for me personally, I think of them so much more than a loss. But in this instance, we are going to use the word loss and say for the personal loss, in the death of the family member or a friend or even a pet, because we all love our fur babies. Um, uh, that's something that can truly set us back. And for me, it did just that. So back on January 23rd of 2021, my dad went to be with the Lord. And it came from left field. I did not see it happening. I've been to many of my dad's doctor's appointments in the past, and what his doctor said uh, would be the way of life, the expected way of life, was something that we could live with. And 48, not even 48 hours later, I had this person that I never met before, a doctor, sit with my dad and myself and tell us he had 6 months to live. And here I am, sitting in a very small room. My father's in front of me. This doctor person is to my left. My instinct is to say things that, might not be so ladylike, and for me, definitely not to be able to say here tonight. So it was a matter of me trying to control my fist and to control my mouth at the same time, because I didn't see it coming, and I felt like the bedside manners could have been a lot better. But fast forward, not even 48 hours later, side, holding his left hand, staring into his face, not wanting to be there, not wanting to look at my dad, because ultimately I knew what was to come. And I witnessed that tear come down his cheek. And it was at that moment that he took his last breath here on this earth and his first breath in heaven. And as a result of that, instantaneously, I fell into a dark place. The kicking, the screaming, the begging, the pleading, the no, no, all of that come back. That's what I did. There's no rule book on what to say or how to react when you're watching your loved one as they take their last breaths. They die. And because of that, it put me in a dark, secluded, very isolated place as that hamster on the wheel, just doing the minimum to get by. At that time, it was the height of the pandemic. We were working from home. So I was literally walking across my bedroom into my, what I call my shishi room, doing my 7.5, 8 hours, whatever my assignment was for the day. They call it a tour, shutting down at the end of the evening or the day, closing everything down, closing the door, going back across the living room into my bedroom. I shut the door, where I remained until the next day. And the only thing that was different about that was the fact that other than being secluded in the room, I would run back and forth to the cemetery for that feeling of my dad being there behind the Calabarium wall. And that went on, that isolation, that darkness, that depression, that brokenness, that heartache, that weight loss, all of that for 342 days. 342 days. And when enough became enough and my perspective changed, I knew that my dad wouldn't expect that of me. And I knew that I had a purpose in life. I had 3 grandchildren. Now I'm blessed with 4, that I wasn't spending any time with my friends, my family, anyone. Anyone. And I didn't realize how deep into that I was. But when enough became enough and my perspective changed, my life forever changed for the better. And so those are some of the things that I want to share with you tonight. So like I said, 1 was personal loss. 2 is a health crisis. any type of health crisis that disrupts one's life, whether you're taking care of your healthcare giver to a friend or a loved one, or you are in a health crisis of your own, that definitely is a large burden to carry. And it is a major setback. The third, mental health struggles. And that's some things that I was doing too that I didn't realize, that I was struggling with my mental health. When you look in the mirror and you can't see the amount of weight that you lost, and you don't realize that you have isolated yourself, that all is a part of mental health. And there's statistics around that where situations like this lead to death in the end. And that very well could have been me in the direction in which I was heading. 4 is the unforeseen. And that's whether it be an accident or some type of serious injury, but that too falls victim into one of these 10, where you just didn't see it coming. Just like my dad's passing was unforeseen. I didn't see it coming. It was never told to me until not even 2 days before. And then I was told 6 months to live. And in my mind, I'm like, don't show emotion, Sonya. Don't, just keep it together for daddy. And my mind, it started going, okay, well, if it's going to be 6 months, it's going to be the 6 best months of my dad's life that I could give him. I was ordering the hospital bed. I was getting my furniture taken out of my bedroom because I had the bathroom and all my dad's needs in there. I was getting the recliner ready. He was going to be as comfortable could be for those last 6 months of his life. Even though I knew in the end that God made the final decision, and a doctor is a human being, and they just know as much as they learned. But that was unforeseen. 5, job loss. That could be due to a serious illness, a company downsizing, or even a company having to relocate. And we know in these days and times, there's a lot of that going on, where people are just losing their jobs. Companies are shutting down. The government is shutting down. So that's job loss. And then 6 is financial. And I don't have to tell you, you know what that means. Because you lost your job, your finances took a hit, or in my case, to be completely transparent, I chose letting my finances go, my bills go, for the better of my dad. And then eventually my mother, because when she passed, I was doing all that I can do. So my bills was secondary to my mother. My bills was secondary to my father. Because even when I was going to doctors, visits with my father every couple of weeks, that meant I had to take time, unpaid time from work, excuse time, but it wasn't paid time. So that could also be part of those unforeseen financials as well. 7, divorce or separation, a breakup within a couple that were just dating. And also with the divorce or separation, that breakup also, it it has a large effect on the family and friends, because if it's a divorce and the families were tight, they hung out together and holidays, they went on trips and whatnot, and now here comes a divorce, all that just stops. So that really takes a toll on everyone as well. And especially a couple breakup, and if it wasn't an amicable thing, or something transpired that was bad, I mean, that too really is a definite deep setback as well. Number 8 is a major move away from family, from friends, because you had to relocate, because the job that you had that paid the bills was relocating, and they gave you an option. If you still want to work for us, you have to move here with us. It's not like you can work from home. So any type of major move, that also has a large effect as well. 9, repercussions from a natural disaster. Like I think of the fires of California and the floods of even back from Louisiana and Texas and all over, where there was a loss of dwelling involved, or the family had to divide and move elsewhere because family and friends was taking them in but couldn't take everybody in, so they had to kind of divide, separate, so that they can live until they could rebuild. So that's the repercussions from a natural disaster. And 10, empty nest syndrome. I never thought about that in its entirety until I started doing research a couple months ago. I know how I felt as a mother with an empty nest. I mean, since we're keeping things transparent, when my son and daughter-in-law took the kids, the three, and they went down, they moved down south for a better way of life, a more affordable, I could not hold it together. I had 14 stairs going down from the top of the second floor down to the front door. I don't even think they got it to the second or the third step, and I started wailing like a baby because I'm thinking, "Oh, my babies are going. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna miss them. They're not living here. They're not nearby. I can't just go visit when I want to. Yes, there'll always be a call away, but it's different." And then again, when my daughter moved out and she went, to start her own life, I cried again. And I tried to hold it in, and she's like, "What's the matter, mom? I know what you're gonna do." And I did the same thing again. When I looked through the window and I saw that U-Haul backing up, I started to wail. I started to cry because I'm like, this is all I've known for all these years, and now I'm all alone in this empty nest. And I know there's a furniture company commercial out there, and it's like, yay, what are we gonna do? Oh, I'm so excited. Let's paint the room. Let's do this. Let's do that. We're gonna have a shishi room, or I'm gonna have a man cave, and blah 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 blah. But not everybody thinks that way. That's empty nest syndrome right there. So, um, and again, there are a lot more, but those are the ones that I chose to speak about tonight. So if you've been wondering about tonight's episode, a spade is still a spade, and you're wondering, what is that? What does that mean? So I'll let you know. It's that reference, it's that topic of grief, it's that hardship, it's those life challenges, and it's the unpleasant truths that the fixed mindset dismisses. It's like, I can't talk about that. Like, we're not even going to discuss it. I don't want to change. I don't want to see another option, another side. This is how it is, and that's that. So that was a spade is still a spade, referencing to that. So if you haven't already, this might be a really good time to go grab some pen and a notebook, something where you can write, where you're going to keep it and you're not just filing it away in that file drawer and it's going to stay there forever, because you truly might wish to reference this again. And I'll wait while you do that, and I'll jump in the comments. Give you a minute. So I see the comments are going. Thank you so much for that. Great night. I see you're live. Thank you. Wonderful topic. Thank you so much. I bet you're looking forward to it, and I hope that I'm answering some of the questions that you were thinking about. That's true. They come first. Absolutely. I never thought about the financial aspect of being the caregiver. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because when we are the caregiver, we give everything. And to me, honestly, I didn't care if my car got repossessed. I didn't care about anything, but I was going to do my very best at the door for my father, whatever means necessary. And I did the same thing for my mother. My mom passed away 2 years ago. And so, yes, I did the same thing. I put her needs first. Value. Thank you. I see the value here. Thank you again. Thank you so much. Yes, this is definitely real talk tonight. This is definitely real. We are going to talk 100%. And I am going to the other platform to see what I can see there as well, without losing anyone in the process. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, turn this down. That I'm answering some of the questions. All right, so I am seeing the, thank you. Well, thank you so much. All great points. Sonya, life changes in a continuum. Adjustments are necessary. Thank you reminding us. Wow, I passed through most of what you mentioned. Yes, I know you did. God bless you. So keep the comments coming. I do have all platforms open now, so I can read them all. Because as we know, one of the platforms, when it's all said and done, I won't be able to open it back up again, and I don't want to do that. So, okay, so also by now you should have retrieved your pen and paper, but I am going to be donating 30 minutes of my time, free, uninterrupted time, on a heart-to-heart with Sonya for the first 5 viewers who, beginning tomorrow morning, okay, trying to make it as fair as possible between replay and live, the first 5 viewers that, you know what, let's not wait till tomorrow morning. I am going to, 10 o'clock tonight, I am going to have my Calendly link updated. So the first 5 beginning 10 o'clock tonight, who sets an appointment with me, I will help you. If you bring your draft and I bring my full proof life blueprint system to the table, you and we will sit down and draw out your life blueprint. Okay. So that's to the very first 5. So I will definitely drop that link. Be watching for it, and it'll hit before 10 o'clock tonight. Okay. So the next thing that we want to talk about is the fixed mindset. So I just want to make sure that you have the clear, concise understanding of everything that needs to be known before we move forward. So with the fixed mindset, that's that person who possesses that fixed, closed, where they is because they don't fail challenge. Other that's again because they don't want to compare and feel like they have failed. Um, let's see. Other success fuel their negativity on their own abilities. So if somebody else has done well, now they're comparing, even though we all know we shouldn't be comparing somebody else's middle to our beginning. But in that success, that's fueling their negativity in their own ability. Okay. They feel it's pointless executing any kind of efforts because they aren't going to be able to carry forth the tasks. So it's like, wow, setbacks and the fixed mindset. I'm going to give you now 5 tangible steps to utilize on your journey towards achieving your goals and your dreams. All right, the first one, and there are many. I only chose these 5, okay, because this is not a boss masterclass. We will be going a lot deeper into the boss masterclass coming up on Wednesday, October the 1st. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes. So the first one is processing feelings. Do not attempt to suppress your thoughts and your emotions. Attempting to keep them suppressed is actually hindering your recovery process. And as I shared with you, I did that. But see, the reason why I did it was I thought that I was um, sheltering my friends and my family, because I figured if I talked about how I was really feeling and how much I loved and how much I miss my dad, and I yearn to hear his voice, I thought that I'm okay. I'm okay. And that, my friends, if somebody tells you, okay, please realize that means they're not okay. Okay. So one was processing feelings. Um, and what I just gave you as an example is that prime example of what not to do. Don't hide your truth in that situation. I did that 142 days and it got me nowhere fast. Okay. It's not conducive to your health, and it's certainly not conducive to your mental stability. Okay. 2, perspective mindset shift. Okay. View that setback as an opportunity for growth, to learn, to grow, and to thrive, to become resilient. Don't look at it as failure, because it's not. It's not failure. And I'm going to keep jumping back and forth because I don't want to miss any of the comments. Again, I won't be able to see them, man. Okay, comments remain or stuck. So, it's okay. Move back. 3 is design your life blueprint. And that's what I'm offering to the first 5 that sign up for the free 30-minute one-on-one heart to heart with Sonya, is we're going to outline your goals and your dreams, break them down into SMART goals. We all know what those are, right? The SMART, the measurable, those achievable, those relatable, those timely goals, goals that make sense. We're not going to say we're going to go climb Mount Everest and we've never climbed before. We don't have the strength and the agility to even do it. You know, we make it make sense. And if they're large goals, like you want to run a marathon, break them up into small goals. Start running for a shorter amount of time. And when you do that, then you celebrate. And then you move on until you're able to get to that point where you can run that marathon. Because when we don't do that and we just go for the gusto right away and we just, oh, I'm going to climb Mount Everest. And when we don't do it, everything else goes downhill. We don't do anything. We just give up. Okay. We're not quitters and we're not going to give up. We're not allowed to give up. Okay. So by the visibility in etching out your goals, I should say, sketching out your goals and your dreams, you're increasing the likelihood of those SMART goals coming to fruition, okay? Bearing fruit, okay? But you got to write it. You got to etch it. You got to design it. You got to put it out there, because if you keep it in here, it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to be in that back burner that we spoke about earlier in our minds, okay? 4, move forward one step more than the day before. That's all it takes. Progress is the process. You hear me say it all the time. Perfection is not warranted. We don't have to be perfect. I mean, I have OCD on certain things and I like things a certain way, but I'm far from perfect. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for progress. One step more than the day before. That's all it takes to start out. Okay. And in that, as I said, celebrate those small wins. Celebrate the small wins along the way. And in that, moving forward, as I had to do, because those 342 days of being stuck, I was stuck. Okay. I had no direction. I had no end in sight. I didn't know if I was going or coming. I didn't know about a podcast such as this. I didn't know I can go on social media. I mean, as far as I know, and still today, there is no rule book. There's no instructional on how to uh to grieve, how to surpass a life challenge. There's nothing written anywhere. Okay, other than the Bible, I must say, the Bible. But other than that, there is no manuals. Okay, I didn't have any. So when enough became enough, and I decided that my mindset had to shift, my perspective shift, that's when I had to invest in myself, and I went and I seek mentorship. Okay, because my willpower alone didn't cut it for me for those 342 days. And as you know, willpower alone will never outdo a community. So, in that, seek mentorship, seek somebody who's already been there, somebody such as myself or someone else that speaks not just from textbooks, but from life experience, who's gone through it, who can understand you. And when they say, I understand you, mean it. And that is there. It's not about the money. It's about the person. Okay, as Jim Rohn says, you don't use money to help people. I'm sorry, you don't use people, okay, to make money. You use the money to help the people, and that's what I do. Because I don't want anyone ever to go through what I went through. It was hard. It was challenging. I wasted almost a year of my life not being around my children, my grandchildren, my friends, anything. I was running back and forth to Calvary National Cemetery to read my dad's name on the front of the calabarium, knowing his ashes were there. And I knew of my faith, but I didn't. And I held on to my faith to a point because I never questioned why to God. But my faith wasn't as it is today. Because you see, now I know to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. I heard it many occasions, many funerals. But when it came to my dad, what? It was different. It was very different. And so you also have to seek community in that. Community is key. Okay, that went on alongside of my mentorship for the clarity and the direction. My community was to hold me accountable, to know that they were there regardless, that they were non-judgmental, that they were going to love me unconditional, but they were going to call me on the BS too. I'm the same way. I have accountability partners, and I'll text or call, hey, what's going on? Because we have to hold each other accountable, but it has to start with ourselves as an individual first, because you can't expect somebody else to hold you accountable if you're not going to hold yourself accountable first and foremost. Okay. And 5 is intentional focus that leads to the persistent, that drive to thrive and eventually to be resilient. For me, when I intentionally made my appointment to meet with my mentor, I chose the last appointment he had on December 31st, and I believe it was 4:00 in the afternoon, because in my mind and in my heart and my soul, I said, I am not going into another year doing this. I can't do this by myself. I need help. And my mentor said to me, if I'm intentional, if I stay focused, if I do the work, if I show up, do the homework, he'll help me. And in my mind was, oh, yes, great. I'm going to show him I could do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be intentional. I'm going to be focused. I'm going to be all of that. And I was, and I still am. I show up to every single class, but that's just me because I don't want to lose my focus. But see, I wasn't proving it to him. He knew what my potential could be if I did what I was supposed to do, if I followed his guidance, if I did the work, if I showed up to class, if I listened, if I allowed myself to put into fruition what it was I was learning. But it was never about showing him. It was me showing myself, proving to myself because I wanted it so bad. The need was there, the want was there, but you had to put it together. And I put it together and I never turned back. But you have to be intentional. You have to be focused. Okay? And in that, being intentional and being focused and showing up, that led me to where I am today. Okay? So today, I get to help those that are stuck and that are broken from being in grief and from that hardship and from the life challenges that are suffering in silence, that don't have that direction, they don't have an end in sight, but they're ready to move forward. They just don't know how to. It's like being stuck in the mud, like I'm trying to just show me the way. But just as I was in that same situation, I get to help them to become resilient and empowered with an attitude of expectation and of excellence so that they can reach their economic independence, so that they can be destined for their true greatness and walk fully in their God-given purpose, just like I am today. And I'm jumping back in the comments because they're flying. I don't want to miss anything. I'm getting value, value, value. Many blessings. I'm proud of you. Thank you so much. Another former manager who's like a mom to me. God bless you so much. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. I still think about the first test with the Kirby vacuum. And when I said K as in Kirby, I'll never forget that. But I want to thank you because you too were a mentor. And 29 years later, I'm thriving in my job with the potential of possibly retiring in the years to come. So I want to thank you so much. You know who you are. God bless you always. And going back again, thank you for the comment. Okay. Realistic goals. Small wins means a lot. Yes, small goals. Great mission. All of you just don't know what I do. This is the reason why I do what I do week after week after week for all of you. Because in my thoughts is if there's one person that needs to hear what it is that I'm saying tonight, that I was longing for years ago, if it makes a difference in your life, it's all worth it. So God bless you all with that. And thank you so much again for joining. So we're going to wrap this up tonight. But in doing that, I want to also bring this up to you and see if I can bring this up. Okay. There we go. It was just up and it disappeared. I'm sorry. Okay, so I have a boss masterclass that is coming up. It is a free boss masterclass, and that is going to be held on October the 1st of this year. And I welcome all of you to this boss masterclass. It is going to be on Zoom. And with it being on Zoom, it's more intimate, so you could ask questions and feel like the whole world isn't zoning in on you. But we are going to be talking about transformation and moving forward, and I'm going to give you the steps necessary in which to do that. And so what I'm going to do for you is I am going to drop this now. I never do that. I always do it after midnight. but we are in the end of the third quarter of 2025, and we have so many obstacles that we are trying our very best. And I don't like the word trying. I'm a doer. I'm not a trier. But there's so much that is going on politically, socially, spiritually. The enemy is a liar. We all know that. And so that I'm giving you an opportunity to be able to register immediately after this broadcast is over. I will drop the link and you can register for it. Like I said, it's free of charge. I'm not looking for anything. There's no gimmicks or anything behind it. It's about my passion to help those that are looking for and want my help in order to move forward. You're ready, but you just don't have the direction. And that's where I come in to be able to help you do that. So I am willing to do that for all of you beginning tonight. So I will definitely drop the link for that. So in that, I want to thank you all for joining. I don't want to take up any more of your time. I want to be respectful. I'm so excited that I have some new viewers, and two of them is former managers. And I appreciate you both for joining, as well as the others that I see that have joined as well. I wish I could call your names, but these broadcasts are going to eventually be on other platforms, and I don't, without someone's written approval, call out names for that reason. So tonight's topic was very motivating. Thank you so much. Valuable podcast tonight. Thank you again for that. Um, I'm looking forward to all of you joining. I can't wait for the first five that will be receiving a free 30-minute one-on-one with me. I'm eager to work with all of you. And again, that is also free of charge, no strings attached as well. With that being said, be safe, stay well. God bless you all. And always be destined for greatness, your greatness, your very best. Let me take this away so I can see you. You can see me. See if we, yes. So with that being said, until we meet again, I also do my walk and talk with Sonya, so you'll probably be seeing me on pop-ups as well. God bless you all. Bye for now.